This Holographic Multiverse Part 2, Holographic Inserts. We're also going to touch in on implants. And hopefully, because that's really actually a pretty long subject because it's very detailed. There's a lot involved with it. But we'll touch in on it anyhow. See how it works out from there. So, what are holographic inserts? Holographic inserts are a technological manipulation of this construct's holographic design structure. I'll repeat that. Holographic inserts are a technological manipulation of this construct's holographic design structure, which means we're in a technological designed structure to begin with. So, we have the fallen who have manipulated that which is the structure design. They know creation mechanics, these fallen folk. Why are they fallen? Because they've altered the original design structure, which is the Christ code. The Christ code is also known as the Cathara. The Cathara is a 12-point system. This is, well, in simplest terms, think of this structure as being a body. Think of the holographic multidimensional structure as being a body. There's many different bodies or sets of the same type of body. It gets complicated. Anyhow, the point being is that body has a skeletal system. Think of the Cathara grid within the 15-dimensional time matrix as being that skeletal system. It's a 12-point grid. Those 12 points represent the natural stargates. Okay? So, the fallen, because of the conflict, and how they got the name is because they fell from the original design system because they modified, well, that's putting it lightly. They altered it. That's putting it a little bit more aggressively. So they destroyed the 12th stargate, right? Which is the 12th point of the grid within the Cathara, within the structure. So if you alter or modify it in any way, it doesn't work right anymore. So you can't regenerate, right? Energy becomes finite. And because of omnipolarity, they went crazy. It's what happened. Early on, within the fourth harmonic universe, you only have one more outside of that. So, for those who say that because you're a higher dimensional being, you're beyond reproach, is to be ignorant. Yes, I just said it. So the fallen became the fallen because they broke the machine and they weren't able to regenerate. And they got so pissy, they decided to remove a strand from their DNA code, which is very vital in respect to how the system works, because this is a coded system, and the DNA, what people think is just biological, is not. It's part of the structural design. All the way to the fifth harmonic universe, we have DNA codes. And so they decided to lop off one of their, aspects of DNA coding, which gave them 11 strands. And because it was they're existing off of the Cathara that it's now been altered, they're working from a reversal. What is a reversal? Reversal simply means that they're now dying. It's really it. Simplest terms. Just look at it from a technological perspective, and it makes much more sense, actually, and it frees you up from having any attachments. Because trust me, Source doesn't have any attachment to what is good or bad. Doesn't care. It's all the same thing. It's all information. I'm digressing quite a bit, aren't I? Indeed I am. But you have your own designs elsewhere, and they're not like this. They're not like this sound and light. There's probably plenty of different sound and light constructs made by other sources, which you are part of. But there's also designs that have nothing to do with sound and light. And the only way that you experience that is to merge with it and take on those design parameters. All right, so anyhow, I digress. The fallen. So they're looking basically to perpetuate their existence here within this holographic construct. That is their identities within it. And the only way that you can do that is through energy. Eventually it runs out because it's finite. But that's what they're doing. And that's the reason why they use holographic inserts to manipulate this construct's holographic design structure. So it's a technological manipulation. All right. So how do you know whether or not you are in, or should I say, experiencing this technological manipulation? Well, that's an easy one. Anywhere that you can see and observe where there's finite energy, if you're experiencing finite energy, is where the hologram has been altered. So take a look around. There you go. But in the natural process of things, according to that original design, is meant to be assisting. It's meant to assist us. That which is for physical health, right? Healing, regeneration. Our external appearance. The expression of joy and love is what allows you to really expand. It really does. So included with that, obviously, the external appearance, because that's part of the experience of joy and happiness and love, our mental and emotional well-being, it's all part of the expansion, right? So you can see that's really what it's designed for. Although it gives you a lot of leeway and a lot of room to bend, and that's the reason why, early on beings became very opinionated to the point where they started killing one another. I laugh about this because this has really been crazy from the very beginning, and most people here on Earth do not know this history. When you can alter the technology or the creation mechanics, which these beings obviously can do, that is the fallen, known as being the fallen, you can use the design or manipulate the design to create horrific traumas to biological forms and consciousness. See, within this mechanics of energy, this being the relationship between biology, energy, and perception, because we're talking about hologram, right? We're still talking about the hologram, even though I've been digressing quite a bit. Hopefully it's been, if anything at all, entertaining to you. But it's meant to be taken seriously. It is quite easy for these beings, be it that they understand how to manipulate creation mechanics, it's quite easy for them to impulse the base DNA codes of humans to carry an altered or contrived program of electrical imprint. So the entire structure of the being is being altered. What does that do? I mean, it's on a chemical, right? Hormonal, neurological level. It's altering the structure of the being. So what's it doing? It's making you believe what you're seeing is real. it's what it's doing. So it's literally manufacturing this false hologram. Now, I'm not referring to the natural hologram. I'm talking about, again, the altering of the existing hologram. So as the base DNA code is electrically altered, the entire physiology of the individual on a chemical hormonal level is altered. Excuse me. The neurological structure then processes this altered code. So, the body matter, all that which is all the mechanisms making up the body matter, the brain, the senses, a literal hologram is manufactured. So through manipulating the impulse codes, we have these reality pictures, quote unquote, right? And for those who are perceiving this or experiencing this, it's like the real thing. They don't know the difference between that which is and that which is not. This manipulated reality picture that is being created by these holographic inserts, they're used to cause a perceptual interference. So this is how it's done. It's creating this perceptual interference of the surrounding objective environment. So holographic inserts can be coded to emerge as past memory or as present-time three-dimensional objective experience. Now, unlike a hallucination, the reality picture of the holographic insert, it doesn't just affect the individual or group who's being altered, but also it will affect anyone or any being coming into the encoded parameters of its boundaries. So let's take a look at an example of this. Let's say that we have a group of people, about 4 or 5 or 6 people, out in the street, and they're being affected by this pulse, right? And if you have somebody on the outside wondering, what are they looking at? And they walk into that parameter, they're going to be affected by that, and it's going to be so seamless in respect to what they were experiencing prior to entering into those boundaries, they would not think that anything has changed on a reality level. So what they're going to perceive is understood as being real. So in this context, you can see where the holographic insert is used. It's used on an individual level, but also in order to manipulate and direct the masses. Okay, so there is a heck of a lot more to be said about this and to understand about this. But let it be known, every being on the face of this planet has been affected by this. Yep. And there, like I said, there's a whole lot more to be said about this that really kind of goes beyond the idea of the manifestation part of it, where these technologies are still at work, even out of the body. Yeah, that's another subject, or should I say another video, because it's just very involved. Speaking of which, that is another video. That would be a good place for me to end this. I just really wanted to get you acquainted with what holographic inserts are, understand the significance of it, and when it comes to the implants, much more involved video. It's going to take a lot more time to do that, and I'll wait for part 3 in order to bring that information to you. But until the meantime, blessings to you. Remember, not because I say it, but because you are the love that you have always been. Embrace that which you are. Peace, folks. See you next time.